welcome to the Core Dog Experience. I'm Corey. We're here at Talk Ohio State Buckeyes. If you're feeling this afterwards, please hit the like button. If you enjoy Buckeye Talk in general, please subscribe. Spring games right around the corner, but of course we all know the tragic event that happened over the weekend. So I'm just gonna briefly touch upon that. Um, Not getting too deep into it because there's a lot more better tributes that can be found and can be looked upon and can be read regarding Mr. Dwayne Haskins Jr. A lot of good sites honoring him. So please, I'm sure you guys have probably seen several of those already. I have, and I'm just touched by how many folks and lives he has touched in such a his young life. Um, so yeah, my heart goes out to him and his family. I'm just going to talk briefly about the legacy he left at Ohio State. It was a short career, but he left a lasting legacy at Ohio State. I think Ohio State had got accustomed to the type of quarterbacks we were bringing in particular under Urban Meyer, and in particular under Ohio State in general. We got used to the running quarterbacks. It wasn't a bad thing, but we had the Terrell Pryors, the Braxton Millers, the J.T. Barretts. We got accustomed to the run first type quarterback, the run play option type quarterback, run pass option type of quarterback, and we had a lot of success with those type of quarterbacks. And then of course under Urban Meyer, he liked those same type of quarterbacks as well. Going back to his days at Utah, I mean Alex Smith, Tim Tebow, they weren't your typical drop back pocket passers like Haskins was. So when Haskins got here, it was surprising that Urban Meyer would take someone with that style because he in his career he didn't have those type of quarterbacks. So along with Ryan Day and Haskins, I think they've changed the outlook and the type of quarterback we were able to recruit here and bring into Ohio State. That one season said it all. That set everything into motion that Haskins had here. Again, not an Urban Meyer type quarterback, but Haskins came in under the tutelage of Ryan Day, and they changed the legacy of the type of quarterbacks we have brought in. I mean, without Dwayne Haskins and what he was able to do in his 1 year of starting, do we get Justin Fields? Do we get C.J. Stroud? Who knows? Do we get Kyle McCord? Excuse me, got a frog in my throat there. But do we get Kyle McCord? Do we get Quinn Ewers? Never can say his name. Devin Brown. Do we get that type of style of quarterback if not for Dwayne Haskins? To me, that's his lasting legacy here at Ohio State. He changed the brand of quarterback. We're able to recruit now elite passing style quarterback. We're able to recruit now here at Ohio State, and that's going to be his lasting legacy here at Ohio State in this brief career at Ohio State. He came in and he changed the way we do things at the quarterback position, and I think the young man was poised to not be the starter, maybe not be the starter in Pittsburgh, but certainly he had a shot at being the starter in Pittsburgh. So again, just tragic all the way around. I touched upon him in one of my prior videos. If you haven't seen the Joe Burrow video, just take a look at that one. I discussed a little more about the year Haskins had that year or whatnot. And to me, you look for iconic moments, and for me, the iconic moment, being Ohio and you have those moments that you reflect back on when people say it, you know exactly what they're talking about. Like you say, the drive, everyone knows you're talking about Cleveland, Denver, John Elway. You say the fumble, everyone's talking Ernest Biner, Cleveland, Denver. To me, It's the throw. You say the throw, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Dwayne Haskins up in Ann Arbor, coming off the bench, hitting Austin Mack on the third and long, kept the drive going, ultimately led Ohio State back to the win. To me, he cemented his position as the starter heading into this next season. Ultimately, why Joe Burrow left. So to me, no, the throw. I'll always remember Dwayne Haskins by the throw. Again, it's just tragic what happened to him, and wishing him and his family well and all the prayers in the world. So that just a little moment of silence for Haskins. That's best I can best I can do regarding that young man and his life. Okay. Um, so the spring game's coming up, and it's going to be played now with heavy hearts, I'm sure, and I'm sure they got a I'm sure they're going to have a nice tribute set up for Dwayne Haskins there. But the last segment out, I touched upon the offense, and wasn't really too much to say about the offense. I think the offense is going to be loaded again this year. If you haven't seen it, you can feel free to. Well, please do check out my take on the offense. Touched upon Cade Stover returning to the offensive side, going back to the tight end position. Um, our offensive line getting some folks back into their more traditional positions. So hopefully, our offensive line will be able to perform a lot better this year than what they did down the stretch last year, and hope we can get that running game up and going. And then, of course, our receivers, who's going to be the next person up to step up and play alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba. We got Marvin Harrison, the great bowl game he had. Everyone knows about Emeka Ibuka, but I've been a Julian Fleming fan since he got on campus. He's healthy, so I'm not excited to see what Julian Fleming can do. And then, of course, the battle for the backup quarterback spot. Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. I'm excited about both of those young men, and just anxious to see how they were going to do in the spring game. But this time out, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the defense. Um, the defense probably kept us from winning, going further in the playoffs, or going further, not making the playoffs with our defense. Just held us back last year, and hopefully the changes that were made this offseason, bringing in Coach Knowles from Oklahoma State, that'll fix our defense. Doesn't even have to be a great defense. We just need a good defense to complement an outstanding offense. If we can get a good defense, not great, just a good defense, we're going to do some great things this year. The defense for the last few seasons, I like to refer to them as the can't get right crew. They just can't get right. And for those who ever seen that movie Life, there's a character in there called Can't Get Right. Had a lot of talent, but there's something wrong, just couldn't get right. And then to me, that's what this defense reminds me of. There's a lot of talent, but just last few seasons just can't get right. So hopefully Coach Knowles will come in here and get this defense playing up to its talent level. Because you look at the talent, you have to wonder why it's been so subpar. So if it's not the talent, then it's the coaching scheme and the coaching. And hopefully Jim Knowles coming in, he can fix that. You look at Oklahoma State's defense last year, they were better than Ohio State's defense. They played in the conference known for its offensive, the wide open offenses that they play in the Big 12, and Oklahoma State had an outstanding defense. So hopefully he can bring some of that to Ohio State. The depth chart, I think it's pretty. I mean, we got a lot of guys coming back. sometimes that can be a good thing or a bad thing. And some might say, hey, it's a bad thing. Look how bad our defense was. But again, I think the talent's there. It may have been the coaching and the schemes. So I think so individual wise, I'm anxious to see, Jack Sawyer, JT, Zach Harrison. Um, Initially, you see Zach Harrison on some of the projections. They have him on the two deep, and the youngsters have taken over. Jack Sawyer and JT. I'm not going to try his last name, but JT. Um, they got him penciled in as the starters at defensive end. So hopefully, Zach Heron, Zach Harrison can live up to some of that hype he had coming out of school, high school. Because he was supposed to be the next Chase Young, and so far it hasn't matriculated that way. So hopefully Zach Harrison going to have him a big spring game and a big season. But we got a lot of defensive ends. Tyler Friday, he's going to be healthy again. So our defensive ends and our interior defensive line, I'm not that concerned about. I'm interested in seeing how Haskell Garrett's gone, but we got Dron Cage coming back. Tyleek Williams, he's lost some weight. He seems to be more trim because he sort of disappeared down the stretch. He wasn't as active as he was in the mid part of last season. So he said took off some of them lbs, and so we'll see if he can get up there and get back to someone he was playing when he first started out there, because he was wreaking havoc. So I'm interested to see how Mr. Tyleek Williams plays. And then I guess the big question mark is our linebackers. What kind of play are we going to get out of our linebacking crew? I was hoping to see Mitchell in that first unit there. Taraja, again, he had a lot of hype coming in, but he's currently listed on the 2 deep with Eichenberg, Still Chambers, and our other boy there. They're looking good. So I'm interested to see if Taraja can work his way back into to that starting unit there. Out of other linebacking crew, I'm just interested in seeing some of the youngsters. Reed Carrico, you look at his high school films, he was lighting people up. And of course, our big recruit coming in, CJ Hicks. Interested in seeing what they do and how they perform in the spring game. Secondary wise, hopefully we can get us a healthy Josh Proctor back. And lining him up along with Tanner McAllister. I think our secondary is poised to be good. Denzel Burke had a good season, and if Cam Brown can stay healthy, he's one of the guys who's had trouble staying healthy as well. So again, got a lot of bodies in the secondary. We can rotate in and out till we get the right combination. So I'm interested in seeing how Proctor look if he indeed plays. I know he's coming off the injury, so hopefully if he plays, I'm interested in how he moves about and how he's looking. Some of the youngsters we have, Jacqueline Johnson, Jordan Hancock. I'm interested in how these guys hold up against the best receiving unit in the country. Even our receivers are young, but name me a better receiving core in the country. Despite their youth, this is going to be the top receiving core in the nation. It's going to be interesting to see how our secondary holds up. A couple hits depth-wise. We have some transfers out, which is just going to be the norm moving forward. We're going to have people transferring in and out every year. And this year we have Bryson Shaw, who started a lot of games. People weren't happy, but he started a lot of games. That's a lot of experience that's moving on. And Lejon Pavejos, he is also moving on. But we got a lot of young bodies ready to come in and step up, and just interested to see how they are doing. And speaking about Proctor, if he can't go, I'm really anxious to see Court Williams and how he performs. If he's gonna, hopefully he plays in the spring game. So interested in seeing how he is going to be out there looking. So just schematic wise, want to see what Jim Knowles has up his sleeve there and getting our defense ready for this upcoming season. I think our defense has a chance. Well, only way to go is up. Can't get can't get any worse than what we've been over the last few seasons. So if we can start playing to our potential, man, this team's going to be scary, and and the defense is going to dictate a lot of that. No gimmies coming out the gate. I mean, got Notre Dame right at the beginning of the season, so it's going to be interesting to see how quickly these guys come in and mold as a unit and gel as a unit, and how quickly Coach Knowles can get his scheme incorporated into the defense. Um, Early thoughts out of some of the campuses that the defense, for what it's worth, is giving offense some problems. So take that for what it's worth. Defense is normally ahead of the offense in heading into the season because it just is. It's the way it's always has been. Scheme-wise, schematic-wise, defenses have always been ahead of the offense. So it just might be a byproduct of the defense currently ahead of the offense in terms of preparation and heading into the season. Again, they got a lot of folks coming back on the defensive side of the ball. So again, if we can just, ain't gotta be great, good, get some timely stops, get that one or two crucial stop per quarter, and I think our offense will take care of the rest. So just looking forward and anticipating this spring game and how everyone looks getting ready to head into next season here. So again, a melancholy segment here, given some of the past recent events, but still looking forward to the spring game and what they have set planned. Looking forward here and what they're going to do for our young man Dwayne Haskins. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the day and get ready for the spring game. And then I'll touch base again with our folks after that, and we can share our thoughts on how we thought the spring game went. So till next time, OHIO, go Bucks. I'm out.